My name's Ian Green. I was born the 23rd of the 9th, 50 in Wynyard. I moved to Binnalong in 1978, where I started abalone diving. Well, as I said, in '78 when we first moved here as a commercial abalone diver, the main object was for money. But after enjoying your work, and then the place where you worked, you played at the same time, and in lots of cases work and play come together. And Binnalong Bay was such a great place to bring two little tackers up, and yeah, we just fell in love with the place. Well, down in front of the boat ramp we got Grant's Lagoon, which where the kids, they weren't old enough to graduate to the sea just yet, so that's where they learnt to swim, bodyboard, all the usual bowl sports with water. And then the age 7 to 9, they graduated to the water like ducks. Then barbecues out to the Bay of Fires, which in them days wasn't known as the Bay of Fires, it was just out to the gardens or out to Sloop Rock. Lonely Planet named us the Bay of Fires, and it all went from there. The main thing is the peace and quiet and the tranquility of the place. Whenever we go away, we're always attracted to the sea, so we're natural people that like to live by the sea. But when you see Binnalong in its actual raw state, there's no theme parks, there's no water rides, you make your own fun, so therefore it's more family orientated. Well, as I said, for work, it played a big part, and then weekends and time off was covered by just the sport played at beaches, barbecues, and fishing. You would even go fishing on our days off, and when we was on holidays, go camping out the gardens, and it played a big role in actually bringing up the kids to the fact where mobile phones and TV and today's yip-yahoo, if you want to call it that, was non-existent. They had to occupy themselves with their fishing, ball sports, swimming, and in our company. So that it was a great learning curve and a great place to bring kids up. The beaches here at Binnalong and stretching from Sloop Rock to the gardens and the coastline, and the coastal environment played a big part in bringing up the family as such it is known today. Just the help with bringing kids to nature and the coastline and appreciating what life's all about. The coastline as I know it today is well handled by land care, the actual sand dunes and the laws we have with beach buggies and that on the road as such, or on the beach. More so the fishing side. I think like technology is a great thing, but we're getting very too far advanced with GPSs and fish finders and all that. I think the coastline itself is very well managed with the appropriate groups. I just think that with technology comes a price. In the early days, in the late 70s, a typical diving day was leave home 8 o'clock, venture down to the boat ramp here at Binnalong. By the time we had our wetsuits and our gear in the water, it'd be 9:30. We'd venture out up to the gardens, over to Sloop Rock, and just keep working our way, diving our way up the shore. A typical catch in them days would be 300 kilo of abalone. The biggest joy part of it was I was actually getting paid for a job that I loved doing, and lots of times I would look for an excuse to go to work, not to stay at home. So really the diving side of it and the beauty side of it was all wrapped up in one aspect. As I said, in '78, 300 kilo was a good day, and still today it's quite achievable. The weights, they probably a lot more advanced with technology, with wetsuits. Deckhands are smarter. Boats are a lot better with depth sounders and GPSs. So really, overall, the work effort was probably put in harder in the early days. In the early days of fishing, it was possibly more. There'd be more abalone about. Your normal fish are still the same. Your cooter, your blackback, still have your summer runs, and in the winter you've still got your traditional flathead, probably not around in the same numbers. We have a lot more pressure on the fishing industry for fish, as in scaled fish, as in your wrasse or your parrotfish, your bluehead. All targets now, all species are all targeted through the different commercial sectors, and there are quite a few of licensed fisheries with quotas that are very well managed, and really I can't see much of the change except for probably the volume of fish. The volume of fish is not about, but there's still ample fish about. Back in the early 70s and early 80s, it was quite common to fish out of a 15-foot tinny and one motor, and very, very minimal gear. Now, if you haven't got a shark cat or a monohull with all the bells and whistles, with sounders and GPSs, and a standard rig back in the 70s would probably cost you 30,000. Today you probably won't get no change out of 300. So and it's very the same on the shoreline. Everyone was happy around Binnalong with their fibro shack cements, fibro sheet shacks that were just part and parcel of Binnalong. Well, if you drive around now, all the houses are now 700,000 or better, and I think the lifestyle's changed and plus comes change with money and what have you. With technology comes a price. So if your business costs minimal to run, you don't need many fish for it to survive, whereas when you start getting up in the expense line, you need more to fund your business, so therefore it's more fish to fund your business. So it has got a price to pay, technology has. So with that becomes a lot more pressure on the fishing stocks. With the fisheries now, there's a lot more liaison with the people that actually do the fishing, and the more you can participate in their surveys and just keep an eye on your mates and Yeah, as I say, the more you can have to do with the fisheries and the fisheries, the better it'll be for everybody, and stick within the guidelines. Probably the biggest change that I've noticed in the abalone industry in the last 10 years is the black spiny sea urchin. It has absolutely devastated some of our bottom, abalone bottom and crayfish bottom, by eating the cray weed, and it has just left the bottom absolutely just like concrete. Hence, no cray weed. When the what abs and what cray do spawn there, the spawn, if it's got nowhere to settle in the weed, just gets carried away or eaten by other animals, other predators. And I know the government is working hard with other fishermen and trying to create another industry where they take the black spiny urchin out of the water. It just seems to be taking so long that I think they're going to leave their run too late. What I've witnessed in the last 30 odd years with the fishing industry and the actual diving for pleasure is it to continue on the same level that I have seen, and for other people's kids and the future generations down the line to just witness what I've witnessed with the peace and tranquility of nature. What I'd like to see with our coast and the coastal environment would, for other generations to witness what I have witnessed over the last 30 years, for it to keep going, well, forever and forever, so that other generations can witness what I have.